I'm Deirdre Fitzpatrick.
And I'm Mike Cherry. Let's get right to meteorologist Tamara Berg now with a look at your forecast.
And welcome to your Friday. We've got temperatures on the trend downward. And the one thing you'll notice about the morning is that the wind has also turned a different direction. We had some of that north wind to go around earlier in the week. That really helped to move temperatures upward, especially yesterday. And now we're waking up to a nice morning here in Sacramento with hazy skies, light south wind, and temperatures are comfortably in the mid 50s for my folks that get out the door in the 6 o'clock hour. You may just want a layer and make sure you grab the shades because we will have a few high clouds coast across our skies later on today, but mainly still bright and sunny out there with temperatures in the upper 50s around 8 o'clock this morning. We'll move on up to the low 70s by 10 a.m. Light south winds throughout the day will fill in and temperatures expected to reach the mid 80s for your afternoon. You'll notice that across the area the winds are light, but notice the direction here as we look towards Delta. That's a southwest wind at 8 in Fairfield, south wind at 3 in Sacramento, and it's that south breeze that'll help to really drop our temperatures back heading through the weekend. So the expectation is we will see more clouds around the next few days, cooler temperatures, and I've got a chance for some showers in the forecast on Sunday. I'll walk you through the timing on that coming up in the next few minutes. For now, back to you.
All right, Tamara, thank you so much. So Brian Hickey's enjoying some very much deserved time off. So we're going to pick up traffic here. Right here, this is, looks like I-5 right here. You have that traffic incident right there. This is I-5 South near French Camp. And you can see this is definitely starting to back up because you see the red right there, but it's starting to turn into the orange. So a heads up right there if you're heading in that direction. Let's go to or actually you ended up.
Yeah, so the good news is that 5 and 99 at this point are pretty clear. So if you're going to be going through that area, you don't have anything that should be slowing you down. We like that. And then drive times reflecting some of that. So let's go ahead and show you the drive times, and we'll start right now with some of the more Bay Area commuters. They, of course, are seeing the slower commutes there. 505 to Highway 12 is actually not too bad. 14 minutes to go that stretch on 80. I-5 to 580 taking about 26 minutes. It's in the red, and so is westbound 580 taking about a half hour to do that stretch. Locally, we've got Highway 50 being the slow one this morning. Rancho Cordova through to Highway 99 in the yellow, 10 minutes, which is actually not too bad going through the construction zone for this time of day. And all the other major thoroughfares are looking pretty good so far in the green. In the meantime, thousands of athletes are expected to generate millions of dollars for the Sacramento region this weekend.
It's all part of year 3 of the Ironman California event. KCRA3's Mike DeSalle is live in West Sacramento with 3 key ways this event could impact you this weekend.
Yeah, and right now we're standing right outside Sutter Health Ballpark, which has been transformed into Ironman Village. The gates up right in front of the traditional right field gate to the ballpark. And even if you're not a sports fan, as you mentioned, there are 3 reasons you might care about Ironman California 2023. First, Visit Sacramento says this event, with 3,000 athletes from around the world converging here in Sacramento, likely going to generate more than $15 million in economic impact with the spending on hotels, restaurants, and shops. And second, this 140.6-mile race of swimming, biking, and running, it's leading to some road closures and even some light rail impacts in downtown. And third, Ironman still needs volunteers for Sunday's event. So you can find information on all 3 of these on our website at kcra.com.
Like nothing else when it comes to endurance sports, it truly is a feat of human achievement, and it's something for people when they come out. The athletes are really putting themselves through a lot, so be sure to cheer them on, be loud, and bring the energy.
So if you're wondering, well, how can I soak in this energy even if I'm not taking part in the race? And that's where the Village comes in. You can come on down here on Sunday, race day, watch the events on the Jumbotron, be part of the atmosphere, soak it all in as these athletes, quite an athletic feat, swimming, biking, running over 140 miles. It's a long day, but boy, to watch them succeed is pretty awesome. Live in West Sacramento, Mike DeSalle, KCRA 3 News.
All right, thank you so much, Mike. Ironman signed a deal to continue that race in Sacramento through 2028.
So just moments ago, the House Speaker designate Jim Jordan did a news conference ahead of another planned vote for Speaker today.
Yeah, Jordan struggled so far the last 2 attempts to get the votes needed to claim that role, losing more votes in Tuesday's vote than in Monday's. And this morning, he spoke about the urgency to get a speaker elected and hinted that the House could work through the weekend if needed.
The fastest way to get to work for the American people is to elect a speaker so the House can be open and we can get things done.
Now, some lawmakers did float the idea of giving interim Speaker Patrick McHenry expanded powers to allow the House to function normally while Jordan shores up support. But Republicans have shot that down in a closed-door meeting just yesterday.
So what happens next? Well, today at 7 a.m. our time, the House is set to reconvene again to do a vote for Speaker. Representative Jordan says he's been working behind the scenes to turn at least 21 no's into yeses.
Let's go to the very latest now on the war in Israel. A blast was reported at a historic church in Gaza City overnight. Here's a look right here at the damage. The explosion happening at one of the oldest churches in the world. It was reportedly sheltering several hundred displaced Palestinians at the time. In a statement, the Orthodox Patriarch of Jerusalem attributed the explosion to an Israeli airstrike. The Israeli military says it was looking into the matter. And President Biden will be asking Congress today for new military aid for Israel and Ukraine. Acknowledging the conflicts may seem far away, Biden insists that the support is vital to U.S. national security. KCRA3's Amy Lou is in our Washington bureau with just how much he's requesting.
Well, President Biden is asking for a collective $105 billion in aid. The White House will lay out the specifics of that request later on today. Officials say $60 billion will go to Ukraine, another $14 billion for Israel. The remaining funds will address the southern border, drug trafficking in the Indo-Pacific, and other unspecified humanitarian efforts. Biden notes the aid is necessary for American leadership and its obligation to, quote, hold the world together.
Is a smart investment that's going to pay dividends for American security for generations. Help us keep American troops out of harm's way. Help us build a world that is safer, more peaceful, more prosperous for our children and grandchildren.
And Biden will reiterate the U.S.'s support for Ukraine when he meets with leaders of the European Union later on today at the White House. In Washington, I'm Amy Lou, KCRA 3 News.
Now, some prep work is underway this morning to allow limited food and water supplies pass through the Egyptian-Gaza border. The United Nations will be delivering those supplies to civilians. The White House says that the aid could arrive as soon as today, but it appears it has not happened just yet.
Governor Newsom is expected to land in Israel before he starts a week-long trip to China. Now, initially, the governor's office says he plans to head to Hong Kong. Had said that he would go to Hong Kong straight from New York. Now he's stopping off in Israel. Newsom is set to land in Israel this morning and leave the same day. His office says he plans to meet with those who have been impacted by violence. California is also sending, by the way, medical supplies to that area.
In San Francisco, hundreds of pro-Palestinian protesters gathered outside the federal building, demanding a ceasefire in Gaza. Police had to divert traffic as people took over the street. Many defaced the federal building with messages like "Free Palestine." Across the street, protesters climbed a building to erect the Palestinian flag. These protesters are also demanding that the U.S. stop sending money to Israel. Meanwhile, a social media post is putting UC Davis in the middle of controversy. The university investigating now a post on X from an account that appears to be of a faculty member.
We are not naming the faculty member because the university police say that no crime was committed, and that's because the post wasn't targeting anyone specific. Chancellor Gary May is condemning it, however, writing in part, UC Davis rejects all forms of violence and discrimination as they are antithetical to the values of the university. Chancellor May adds that sharing opinions publicly, even those considered controversial or abhorrent, would be protected under the First Amendment. He says, "We are carefully reviewing this matter to ensure our response is consistent with university-wide policy and state and federal constitutional protections." The
chancellor also confirms the faculty member is still employed. He says that's because the UC system has specific procedures to review complaints of faculty misconduct. The university says any action they would take would be confidential because it is a personnel matter. So this morning, Highway Patrol now looking for a big rig driver who they say ran over a man after a crash. Around 8 o'clock last night, the big rig and a pickup truck collided on Business 80 near N Street. They both stopped on Highway 99 near 12th Avenue, but when the pickup driver got out, the big rig took off and ran him over. Now, the truck driver was taken to the hospital with major injuries. Anyone who saw this happen is urged to call the Highway Patrol. The Sacramento Police Department is admitting that it made a mistake when officers pulled over a pregnant mother. Police say they believed at the time that her 8-year-old son was a wanted juvenile suspect. KCRA 3 News spoke with the boy's mother, who is 9 months pregnant. She says they were on business 80 when she realized multiple officers were following her. When she pulled over, officers had guns pointed at the vehicle. She says she followed their instructions, leaving her terrified child in the car. Officers then realized they made a mistake.
I did let them explain it, and they did tell me that he fit the description of a suspect that they've been watching for 2 years. His hair texture, his white shirt, which he had on his practice gear. And I'm like, really? My 8-year-old baby fit the description of a suspect you were looking for? You know, it just didn't make sense to me.
Now, Shanice says that the stress of the incident is taking a toll on her son. Spokesperson for Sacramento Police Department says a mistake was made and they've been in contact with the family. You can read the full statement from the department on our website, kcra.com.
PG&E is telling regulators that it needs to raise rates for customers. And in a meeting this week, the utility asked to raise the rates by as much as 22% a month. Officials explained the rate increase as an adjustment for inflation and the high price of wholesale natural gas and for long-term work to reduce the risk of gas and electric operations. That includes burying 2,100 miles of power lines to reduce the threat of wildfires in high-risk areas. Consumer advocates say that PG&E proposal could add up to $50 more a month for an average bill.
We need to invest in programs and tools to ensure we can continue to support our evolving risk management practices, and now is not the time to stop investing in safety.
That's a lot of money to a lot of people. Customers in California are hurting. They have been for a while. Energy burdens have been growing.
The CPUC countered with a proposal for less underground work and a 12% rate increase. That would cost people about $28 a month, and they could make a decision by November the 2nd.